I'm Sproins. Welcome back to FTB Beyond. Last time, we started making a ton of power and a ton of resource gathering and processing, and we were able to craft 2 of these solar panels, and as you can see, I've crafted 6 more, so we now have a total of 8. And I have these set up in this way for a very specific reason, and that is because these energy conduits only have a max output of 20,000 RF per tick. So if I were to have, say, more than 3 of them, which would be, well, 3 or more because it's 24,000 RF per tick, then I would be losing anything over 20. So I have them set up like this, as opposed to, have one connected to this one and then have another one connected to that one, and then have an energy conduit connected to all of them just going into the one side. So if I give them each their own conduit and their own side, then we're getting, the maximum amount from each one. Hopefully that makes sense. But these are going into a new channel, main in. So basically just an input for the main, and we can go down here and check out what that looks like. So here it is. This is receiving everything from main in, and then this is just main. Technically it should be called main out, but whatever. It's just sending everything to all of the machines, and we have kind of a slight problem here. So last time we set this to turn on whenever this goes down to a certain amount. It'll turn on all of these big reactors. But because we are generating more with our solar panels than we're using with all of our machines, it will actually never go down. In fact, it's not really going down at all currently at all. So what that means is, for the time being, all of these big reactors are pretty much useless. They're remaining turned off. I could turn them all on, but honestly that too would be a waste because they would just be filling up their internal buffers and then just be sitting, and there would be no way to turn them off. But they would still be using, slowly of course, they would still be using these yellorium ingots. So yeah, we'll probably just get rid of them. I could turn them on and be using their extra power or whatever, but as I mentioned in the last episode, we kind of want to compact, and these are taking up quite a bit of space. So yeah, we're just going to continue crafting solar panels as we get the resources. So speaking of which, one of the resources that these things use quite a bit of is glass, and the way that I've been getting glass is going over to the desert using my auto smelt excavator. It has the auto smelt modifier because I made the, let's see if I can find it, the tool rod out of firewood, and that gives it auto smelt. So whenever I dig out sand, it turns it into glass. And so what I've been doing is going over to the deserts, taking a golden bag and then filling, 2 golden bags, filling both of them and all of the inventory that I have left after that full of sand, and then chucking it in here. But currently we're running pretty low, so if I were to craft a solar panel, craft, start, and then you could see, yeah, we need 2,600, almost 27 more glass. And we don't actually have a whole lot of sand to smelt into glass, and then that would take a really long time. You can also see that it also takes quite a bit of iron ingots. That's no longer a problem. I was constantly running low on iron ingots, but if we check now, you can see we have 14,000, over 14,000. That is because I had the bright idea to put a mob controller down with an iron golem in it. And if we just take a quick look down here into the output chest, you can see there's 16 iron ingots, and then a few seconds later 17 iron ingots. A few seconds later we should see there's 17 more. So yeah, we're getting a ton of iron ingots. I probably should have done this a long time ago, but I also added a rate 2 upgrade, and yeah, it's only taking 1,776 RF per tick, which is pretty much nothing compared to how much we're generating. I could also probably put in like another mass 1 upgrade, but really it's not even a thing that is needed at the moment. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have going on. I think today we're probably going to chill a little bit, maybe focus on building up the base a little bit, making things look nice. There is one thing that I did want to look at today, and that is the dislocation charm, or whatever, advanced dislocator, I guess it's now called. And you can see this is a fusion crafting recipe, and we need a fusion crafting core, which is lapis block, draconic core, and then for the dislocator itself we need a wyvern core, which requires another star, so I'm going to have to kill a wither boss. Shouldn't be too difficult. I might even craft up a new, like a wither killer sword with a bunch of smite thrown on it and sharpness, because for some reason I can't put smite on this sword. I tried. It only lets me have sharpness for some reason. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to probably get the things that we need together to craft an advanced dislocator, and I'll make another one of these. But yeah, I will be back in just a bit. Alright, we are here in the Nether, and I just kind of wanted to show how I'm farming these wither bosses and getting my Nether stars. So I'm using a trick that used to be used a lot back in like 1.8 and maybe even before that. So originally you would need to find a 3x3 of bedrock, but we can just use Lawn's Delight because we're getting a ton of it from the void ore miner or resource miner, one of them. And yeah, all you have to do is get the wither boss to spawn in like this, and once I place this skull down, his head will spawn up here and he will be trapped. So we won't get hit by him. We don't have to worry about getting withered or any of that stuff. So let me just show you how that looks really quickly. Hopefully it's not too loud. So wait for him to explode like you normally would. You can see he's inside the Lawn's Delight. And just like that. Pretty easy fight. So another thing that I did was I made this new sword, and I made it using silver. So silver has an implicit modifier of holy. For each piece of silver that you use, you get +1 to holy. So if we take it and put it in here, let me clear this other stuff out, you can see we have versus undead +3. That's coming for each piece of the sword. So you got the sword blade, the handle, and the whatever this would be, wide guard. Right. So on top of that, we also have +21, and that's coming from this consecrated soil. So I don't really have any modifiers to put any more on, but every time I kill the wither boss, I get a pretty decent amount of XP. And of course, once I get to the next level, I get another modifier. So that's why I brought this stuff down here with me. Also brought some silver to repair just in case my durability gets low, which it looks like it is getting a little low. So, all right, I've been a little busy, and what I've done was I've upgraded the Woot factory to a tier 4. So I needed to make a bunch of these white blocks, which took probably, I think it was like 20 nether stars, which kind of sounds like a lot. Really it isn't. I wanted to test if we have enough power and resources to farm withers. So I have this wither controller block. Let's go ahead and swap this out. And I just want to see what kind of power this is going to require. So 6,696. That's still not really a whole lot. It looks like we're getting wither stars and sulfur. So I'll have to make a spot in the system, in the storage array for it. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So how often are we actually getting them? Let's take a quick look here. If we're getting them, okay, 4, and then a few seconds later 4 more, and yeah, we're getting sulfur pretty quickly too. Okay, that's awesome. So yeah, Nether Star farm, that was pretty simple. The only thing that I don't like about this Woot farm factory is crafting these blocks is kind of tedious. There's a lot of little recipes, and I tried to put all the recipes in the system. If we look at Woot, you can see I got the recipes in here, but for some reason the system gets confused. It doesn't understand, like, for example, this recipe would give you back the casting die or the casing die and the yaw hammer. But if I were to say I wanted to craft 16 of these, it would tell me that I need 16 yaw hammers. So if I wanted to do a auto crafting, I would have to do it one by one. So something like these under iron plates, which you need a ton of. Yeah, so it's telling me, I'm even missing the one because it's not in the system right now. But if I did that, it would tell me that I have enough. But yeah, if I want to do 64, I would need to give the system 16. So yeah, unfortunately, you have to do this all by hand, and it's super annoying, but yeah, it might actually be worth it. We might have to look at applied energistics later and see if it handles things like that better. But yeah, for now, that's really cool. We're now getting automated Nether star and sulfur. Let's see if I can grab these real quick. Nether star, where's sulfur? Sulfur? Sulfur. Alright, I'm going to make a spot for them, and we'll see what else we can get into today. Alright, so the Dislocator recipe is a little bit more involved than I originally thought. Fusion crafting, but overall it's not too bad. So you can see here it says tier Wyvern. So that means we need this Wyvern fusion crafting injector. We actually need 8 of them. And so this is how fusion crafting works. So you can see here on the left side we have 4 items, and on the right side we have 4 items. And these represent what we need to put in these crafting injectors. So we have the basic crafting injectors right now, but we need to upgrade them to the Wyvern, and I don't think we can just use one. I think all 4 of them have to be upgraded. But here's the basic setup. So yeah, I went ahead and crafted this fusion crafting core. Content saved. I don't remember what I had in it. But we should just put this down in here. And recipes should show up. Maybe it's because I also need to power these ones. And the cool thing about these is they don't actually start taking power until you start the craft. But for some reason, it's not showing me. Oh, maybe it's because I also have to put the items down, and I'm not sure. I don't think it matters what order you put the items down. Obviously, if they're the same, it's not going to matter. But now we should look at this, and yeah, it says start. So once we click start, it should begin fusion crafting, and at first it charges. Shouldn't take too long, and then after it charges, it will start the craft. Alright, so it looks like the crafting itself has started. And doesn't look like it's going to take too long. And very soon we should have the first of the Wyvern injector thing. Anytime now. This is pretty cool. And there we go. So yeah, I think I have to do that 7 more times, which requires these Wyvern cores. Each one requires a Nether star, but we have tons of Nether stars now, so yeah, I've already put these recipes into the system. It shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, I think I might try to do it with just the one, the Dislocator recipe, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to work. So unfortunately, with the one crafting injector upgraded, it's telling me that pedestal tier is too low. So it looks like I will have to do all of them, but I will be able to just pop in the last injector that I swapped this one out with, so I won't have to make any more injectors. I should have one left over when I'm done with all this though. That's not really a problem. Anyway, I will now get back to doing this. So while we're waiting for things to auto-craft up, I would just like to point out that in the short time that we've had the loot farm controller set to spawn and kill withers, we've already gotten 1,757 Nether stars, which is ridiculous. This hasn't even been turned on very long, and it's hardly taking any power from the system. Definitely not enough to cause any problems. So yeah, pretty cool. So several years later, we are now ready to do this recipe. We have everything upgraded, Wyvern level, crafting injectors, everything set to go. Hopefully this will go a little bit faster now that we have everything upgraded. It doesn't look like it. Looks like it's going about the same as the first tier, which is a little unfortunate. There might be a way to automate this, although I can't really think of one. But anyway, let us wait. So there we go, advanced dislocator finally. So I know for this we will probably need, unless something's changed, we will need ender pearls. So let's grab a bunch of them. Alright, advanced dislocator, fuel. Add fuel. There we go. Can I shift? Yeah. Add a bunch at a time. Out of ender pearls. Oh, to do a full stack. Alright, so 120 fuel. And let's go over here. Let's just test it out. We'll go like on top of the house. Sure, why not? So shift right click, I think. Add new. And we will call this test house. Right, and commit it. We can lock it. Let's just lock it for now. That means we can't edit it. We can't remove or anything. Actually, we'll leave it unlocked because we'll get rid of it eventually. So that's test house. Let's make this one another one. Oh, okay, because it's set to test house. So, well, we know that part's working. We need to shift right click. So shift right click, add new, call this one test tree, commit, and then one more. We'll go into the base and we'll just shift right click, add new, call this one base, and we will, once we commit it, we will lock this one. Also up, yeah. All right, so we hold shift. No, so how do we test tree, test house? Oh, okay. That's weird that once we get past everything, it goes to the next spot. Maybe, I don't know, it's acting kind of strange. Anyway, test house. Awesome. Let's go to test tree. Cool. If we click test tree again while we're already there, we will waste an ender pearl and base. Alright. So yeah, we can warp around, and the cool thing about this is it works between dimensions. Shift scroll to cycle destination, shift right click to open the GUI. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that was worth it, even though I had to sit through a bunch of this crafting. I think it's alright. I'm probably not going to be using infusion crafting for a while, so, or I guess it's just called fusion crafting. I'll probably just take this all down and put it away until we're ready to use it for something else. But yeah, we now have a advanced dislocator, so that's pretty cool. I think I'll try to see what else we can get into, see how much time we have left, and I will be right back. Well, unfortunately, it looks like I have run out of time for this video, but that just means we can do more stuff in the next one. Alright, so I'm going to end it here. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.